Okay, my first words are of gratitude to the organizers, especially in the person of Professor Ferrari, for inviting me to participate in this international meeting. It's a pleasure for me to share session with good friends and good specialists, and of course to visit this fantastic city. I'm going to speak in English, so I apologize for my mistakes, and I thank you in advance for your patience. What can be said about the Spanish experience on renewable energy? Well, I think we must start with the text of the Directive 2009, number 28. As you know, it's a part of a package of measures needed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, called Package 2020-20. This means that by the year 2020, the use of renewable energy will increase 20%, greenhouse gases will decrease 20%, and energy efficiency will also increase 20%. As we can read in the preamble of this directive, on one hand, the use of energy from renewable sources has been recognized as an opportunity for establishing economic growth. Production of energy from renewable sources often depends on local or regional small and medium-sized enterprises. So opportunities for growth and employment are very important. But on the other hand, decentralized energy production has many benefits. For example, it increases local security of energy supply, the transport distances are shorter, it reduces energy transmission losses, and it fosters community development and cohesion by providing income sources and creating jobs locally. These are good reasons that justify the following measures. First of all, it is appropriate to establish mandatory national targets consistent with a 20% share of energy from renewable sources and a 10% share of energy from renewable sources in transport in community energy consumption by 2020. And secondly, it is necessary to establish transparent rules and coordination between the different authorization bodies by reviewing the administrative procedures for giving permissions to construct and operate plants and associated transmission and distribution network infrastructures. Okay, Spain has achieved good results with respect to the first of the measures, but has serious difficulties with respect to the second. As you know, Article 3 of Directive 2009 established that each member state shall ensure that the share of energy from renewable sources in gross final consumption of energy in 2020 is at least its national overall target, which is in Annexo 1. The Allegato, in Italian, the Allegato 1 says that, for example, Italy has a target of 17% and Spain 20%. At the same time, the point 4 of this Article 3 of Directive says that each member state shall ensure that the share of energy from renewable sources in all forms of transport in 2020 is at least 10% of the final consumption of energy in transport in that member state. In Spain, the National Plan of Renewable Energies has been adopted. The previous studies identify some peculiarities of Spain in relation to the renewable energy that I want to highlight. The potential of renewable energies in Spain is very extensive and superior to national energy demand and the existing fossil energy resources. Renewable energies are the main energy asset of our country, especially, and in this order, the solar, wind, and hydro energy. This table presents some interesting numbers. For example, 32.3% of the electric production in 2010 was from renewable energies production. And the consumption, the final consumption in the same year, 2010, was 13.2. At the beginning of 2010, Spain set as a goal to achieve in 2020 22.7% of energy from renewable sources, 22.7%. However, as a result of the crisis, at the end of this year, 2010, this objective was downgraded to 20.8%. Which are the problems for my country? The Article 13 of Directive 2009 says, Member State shall, in particular, take the appropriate steps to ensure that the respective responsibilities of national, regional, and local administrative bodies are clearly coordinated and defined with transparent timetables for determining planning and building applications. Okay, Spain has a very complex structure. It's a complex country in its political and administrative structure because we have three levels of government: the state level, the regional level, and the local level. In the area of the energy, for example, the three levels share responsibility. The state level, as you can see in the first column, the state level has competence in basis of the mining industry and the energy regime, legislation, management, and grant of resources and hydraulic exploitation affecting more than one region, promotion and general coordination of scientific and technical research, basis and coordination of the general planning of the economic activity, and basic legislation on protection of the environment. Regional level has also competence to develop bases, statal bases, and implement policies in its own territory. For example, authorize an installation or an electrical use not involving more than one region. And finally, local level has a general jurisdiction to intervene in the affairs that affect its interests, and namely traffic management, public transport, protection of the environment, public lighting, and waste treatment. So we can find in Spain a state level with its own regulation, especially the law of electric sector, 1997, and the law of sustainable economy, 2011. Regulation at the regional level, there are three laws of energy in Andalusia, in Castilla-La Mancha, and in Murcia. And of course, a lot of planning and a lot of energy planning in the state level, the Plan of Energy from Renewable Resources 2011-2020, energy planning in Andalucía, Aragón, Baleares, Cantabria, Catalunya, Madrid, Navarra, and Valencia, and a lot of local experience, for example, Barcelona, Sevilla, and Zaragoza. Let's see some examples of the regime in Spain of renewable energies. I'm going to try to explain some measures adopted in my country to promote energy from renewable sources and also energetic efficiency. As we can read in the preamble of the Directive 2012, buildings are crucial to achieve the Union objective of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Buildings are crucial. In Spain, there is a technical building code with some requirements for the new buildings, like, for example, the energy efficiency certificate. That is a claim to consumer, but it is also a management control mechanism. Okay, respect to this last, Brussels warned Spain for not complying with the mandates set out in the directives, because the efficiency measures were only applied on new buildings and were not applied to the existing buildings. Therefore, a recent royal decree, April of 2003, obliges purchasers and users of the buildings to provide a certificate stating the level of energy efficiency of the new and also of the existing buildings. Moreover, in this moment, there is a project of regulation of urban renewal in the Parliament, which introduced some important measures to achieve energetic efficiency and a decrease of greenhouse gas emissions. For example, the evaluation report of buildings. Spain has approved a plan, 2000 ESE, Energy Service Companies, in Spain, Empresas de Servicios Energéticos, to promote the energy efficiency of public buildings. This plan aims to achieve 2,000 public buildings to meet the following conditions: 20% energy saving, to increase the use of energy from renewable sources, promotion of employment, and promotion to best practice in energy culture. There is an example in the web page of the government. The Ministry of Industry building in Madrid is in this plan, and there is an energy saving of near 5,000 million euros, 500,000 euros less than 2008, and 1,500 tons less of carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. A lot of entities in Spain have signed the Covenant of Mayors. As you know, it is aimed to meet and exceed the European Union 20% carbon dioxide reduction objective by 2020. There are some interesting experience in local government. For example, some municipalities like Capmany has a target of 43%. For example, Gijón, 35%. Gijón, for example, has approved an action plan for sustainable energy with important local investments in sustainable actions. The two more important are replacement of diesel boilers by gas boilers and renewal fleet of buses with hybrid vehicles. Sevilla has recently approved an ordenanza, an act for energy. And it is especially interesting the creation of a local agency responsible for the energy management and the energy planning. Finally, there are some cities in Spain called recently smart cities, as you know, a new concept applied to the cities in which they are present public administrations whose objective is to provide new and better services, citizens, which is a fundamental piece in the development of the city, energy efficiency and sustainability aimed at a balance with the environment and natural resources, and finally, TICs, the information technology and communications as a facilitating tool for the provision of service and support. Okay, my conclusion, the future is not clear for Spain. Promotion, renewable energies need an important effort of investment from the state, but it is necessary to call private financing in this moment. Thank you very much.